What's this? Drama in the adventure game community? Oh, well, you know, I gotta jump on this, folks. Okay, in all seriousness, I'm not really one to really talk about drama, except for that one time that we don't talk about. But, I would consider myself mainly a drama-free channel. I usually just focus on theories and lore stuff, so I can already see the comments. Stay in your lane, theory boy! Why are you trying to get involved in this? This has nothing to do with you. And to be honest, it really doesn't really have much to do with me, but I can do whatever I want with my channel. So, I don't know. Suck it? I don't know. Anyways, I just find this whole situation really interesting because, at least for me, I kind of got like a personal stake in this because on one hand, I think I'm friendly-ish with Franco and Tower World. Like, I've known of it, and I think it looks good. It seems like a pretty high-quality game. I haven't purchased it myself, but from everything that I've seen and everything that I've experienced previously of Franco and his work, I think it's pretty polished. But then we also have, on the other hand, Eclipse, which I know I'm going to get hate for this, because people hate when you just like someone's content, but I actually, for the most part, actually enjoy Eclipse's content. I know he can have questionable or bad takes from time to time, but, like, who doesn't? Who doesn't have bad takes from time to time? So when you have these two things clash the way that they have, I do feel obligated to kind of talk about it, because at this point, it's been a back and forth 3 times, and my opinion has shifted. And at this point, I feel like I'm pretty neutral, kind of Eclipse leaning on this situation, but it's very interesting because I feel like on both sides, mistakes were made on both sides of this whole argument thing. I just kind of want to just break it down in this, like, chill manner, kind of just give my opinions on it from the outside and just see where it is. Because at the end of the day, this whole thing is an argument on where to spend 50 Robux. It's where are you going to spend 50 cents? Is this game worth 50 cents? Tower World. So, really, that's what we're going to get into. Starting with the Tower World developers' point of view, they kind of believe that, like, yeah, the game, it's in early access, you can buy it, you can use it to support us, to support developers, because we need to pay our developers in order to continue making the game. That is their main purpose for having the game, having it like that. And from what I can understand, the game has no microtransactions, no game passes, nothing of that sort. So it's kind of just like paying for like an investment for the future, so to speak, where it's like, hey, put in money now and you'll get a better product down the road. And eventually the game will become free once there's enough content put inside of it. And from Eclipse's point of view, his point of view is that, hey, the game is not in a satisfactory state, at least in his opinion, and that it is not worth 50 cents, and instead you should not buy the game and instead wait for it to become free, essentially. Because the developers themselves have stated, and this is true, they have stated that the game, when the game releases to be free, it will be in a better state with more content and more optimizations and features and things like that. So those are the two arguments here. And honestly, you just kind of heat in the moment, kind of defending this, my friend, like the person that I like. Well, I wouldn't call me and Franco friends. I think we just kind of know of each other. But kind of parasocial here. But like, I immediately kind of jumped to Franco's defense because for like 50, you gotta be honest, like 50 Robux is such a negligible amount of Robux. Like for people who have access to Robux, 50 Robux is nothing to part with. To make such a big deal out of it being 50 Robux, I believe came off as really silly. And to me, it just was like, hey, you're just supporting developers. Like 50 Robux is nothing. Like, why are you complaining about this? However, I believe in the second video, the point is made much more clearly that it's not about the price. It's the fact that it's not worth money now, but it will be better when it's free. So why would you get it now, go 50 Robux less, and get something that's worse than something that you'll get in the future. I believe that's Eclipse's point, not the fact that it costs 50 Robux, just the fact that it will be better free later, so why would you pay for it now? That's his mentality, and honestly, I agree with that mentality. I think he's right, plain and simple with that point. I just feel like his first video, I believe his issue is that he made such a big deal out of it being 50 Robux, that I believe that's where the argument was lost and people trivialized it. When in reality, the point that he was making was a valid point. I completely agree. I think that waiting for something to be free, waiting for something to be free when you know it's going to be better when it is free is objectively just better than paying for the game. Not saying, also another problem is saying like, hey, don't buy this game. Like, it's anyone's choice if they want to buy the game or not. And I believe that's a fault that goes on both sides, honestly. No one is telling you to buy Tower World. You are not obligated to buy Tower World. It's your choice what you do with your 50 Robux. No one is asking you to spend it or not spend it. It's your choice. If someone chooses to spend money on Tower World, then it's cool. They've supported the developers. They're doing their thing. If they don't, then they don't. They're not obligated to. You're not a bad person if you wait for the game to be free because it's better and not support the developers that way. Because at the end of the day, that's just kind of how it is. The issue on Franco's side, more or less, is the fact that, well, for one, no offense, because I like you guys. Like, I think the game that you're making is really cool, and I would never say don't buy the game. I think it's a cool game, and if you're into that sort of stuff, you should check it out. Having Franco say like 4 words or 4 sentences, and then the 4 sentences that he does say are supporting the points that Eclipse is making, and then the rest of it is the writer just yapping on and doing personal attacks, that's not a good look. Just frankly, it's not a good look. It just gives Eclipse so much more ammunition, so much more to play with his argument, and it kind of lowers your credibility a bit, honestly. And I think on that front, in his response, he definitely cooked the Tower World developers. Sorry, that it is what it is. I do think that he still took the L on not knowing the tower. This isn't really an L of his, but he's not very knowledgeable of the tower genre, and it still kind of pisses me off that he compares Tower World to the hundreds of thousands of obby games that are out there, when the vast majority of obby games out there are provably copy and paste difficulty chart obbies that are made in 5 seconds by some stupid person who just wants money. Where Tower World, whether you like it or not, you have to admit that effort was put into it. So I don't really get the angle of comparing it to other obby games, but I do understand the angle of like, well, it's not really, there's not much there. In his opinion, it's not like 50 cents. And at the end of the day, really, it is just Eclipse telling the world his opinion. And I guess we're just not allowed to have opinions anymore in this day and age. Even if it's an opinion you don't like people are still allowed to have that opinion. So honestly, I do believe that on both sides of this whole debacle argument, there were mistakes made. I do think at the end of the day, though, Eclipse did make a better argument than the Tower World's developers. Okay, so literally as I was editing this video, Franco and the Tower World developers have actually responded, literally while I was at school, dude. Like, that's not cool, I was trying to make a video. Alright, but jokes aside, I think their response did a very good job in clarifying their stance on the whole thing, as well as kind of nullifying my main critique of them, which was the fact that they were pretty laying it heavy on the personal attacks in their video. They seem to have remedied that. They have genuinely, I believe in my opinion, apologized for their actions, and they have explained their points better. They have conceded, obviously, that Eclipse's actual gameplay criticisms were valid critiques of the game, but they also pointed out the flaws in his other critiques, which were admittedly very, very flimsy and kind of pathetic critiques, honestly. Like the point of oh, you only need a builder and a scripter. I don't think that really I don't think it really resonated with me how much of a stupid critique that is. Like, No, of course you need more than just a builder and a scripter to make a game. Like, are you stupid? Basically, I'm still kind of neutral on the whole thing. I still see Eclipse's argument, but I recognize that it was delivered in a terrible way. And I think the Tower World developers have done an excellent job in remedying their original response and being more professional and actually showing their game in a much better light. I'm honestly genuinely like interested in playing this game now. I might make like some videos on it, honestly, because it actually looks really cool from everything that I've seen. So that's it. If Eclipse responds, I don't think he will. I don't think he will make a response to all this. I'll probably make like a little follow-up. This is just such a funny like rabbit hole to go down. So that's really about it. See ya.
150 years! I ain't gonna do me like that, man! I ain't trying to do 150 years, man! I don't even live it! How long you gonna give me 150 years like that, bro? Come on, John, can I put it in a pill?